Hello, friends. It's Catherine. Hello, hello. On this beautiful 7/7/7 day and portal. Hello, hello. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right place. Let's see, I'm a little close to my camera here. We'll see if we have a nice, beautiful session today. My neighbor is redoing his roof today, so we'll see what happens. So I have the windows closed. Luckily, it's cooler today. There I am. So let me just get a couple things going here. So we're going to talk about just a couple things real quick, and about the 7/7/7 portal. We're going to talk about duality for a second. We're going to talk about Sekhmet. We're going to talk about Sekhem energy. And this is going to be a sound healing frequencies from tuning forks with a Sekhem transmission. So this is a kind of empowerment. This is a strengthening journey so that you can look square in the face at the things that are holding you back and feel a commitment to bravery, to courage, with the light of Sekhmet, which is a very powerful light. Please understand that you're not conjuring anything outside of you. You're not connecting with anything outside of you, not really. You are connecting with your own inner sun. You are connecting with your inner strength, your inner fortitude, your inner resilience, your inner power. And Sekhmet is a very, very powerful patroness of the energy of self-healing. And so when we work with her, it's an incredible way to understand that everything that you're looking for is already within you. It's already there. It's already part of your energy. There is no, like, I'll get there someday. You have it. You have it. You have to choose to ignite this inner pilot light, so to speak. So hello, all who's joining. Say hello. Let me know you're here. Hi. I can't see everybody and everything in the comments, but let me see if I can change that. So needing this. It's been quite an interesting week, hasn't it? So, you know, 7/7/7, it does signify a lot of different things, but where I feel that this portal has been anchoring and grounding me is this kind of, this feeling of the duality of, I am very human. I feel, actually, that's a weird thing to say, more human now than I ever have, because I've done the work. I've done the shadow work. I've excavated the catacombs of my unconscious and brought, hi Corinne, brought a lot of things up to a conscious level of recognition and acknowledgement, and just saying, yep, that's me. That's me. I own that. I claim that. I did that. I have been that. Being this fully anchored and grounded being and feeling probably more human than I ever have, while understanding that I'm also living light at the same time. That all of this is an illusion. You know, what we think is form or matter or the materia of this existence in the 3D reality realm is it's a trick of the mind. It's a reality play, if you want to call it that. And that more than anything else, you are living light. And I've said this many times, you know, when I work with my spirit team and my spirit guides, they're always reminding me that, you know, we don't see you as form. We see you as a moving ball of light, and not even moving, you're just taking up space. And this is always very humbling. And it also brings me back to this other realization that whatever is going on in my life, whatever increasing or accelerated levels of duality I'm interfacing with that feel really intense and like, I can't handle this. I absolutely can handle it, because how can I ever not handle myself? Okay. Because you're only ever responding to anything from who you are. So how can you not handle yourself? How can I not handle myself? I'm equipped, I'm built, I'm designed to deal with the entirety of the emotional spectrum here on planet Earth and everything that goes with it, and you are too. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here. You wouldn't be here live listening to this, right? So what I'm really grounded into, this truth of deeply holding this duality and being able to not idealize it, but to understand this is what it is here. In this 3D reality realm, this is the contrast we came to play with. So why do I create more suffering and struggle for myself by trying to constantly push away at it? Instead, where can I dance with it? Where can I embrace it? Where can I say, you know what? I am light and dark. I am mortal and divine. I am all those things and everything in between. And they can all exist simultaneously. And I don't have to place a value judgment on, well, this dark, this bad, that's bad. The darkness or the shadow, that's bad. It's bad stuff. Who says? And am I working with the full purview in order to be able to make that bold statement? And what if shadow isn't bad at all, but it's merely the universe poking at you and saying, hey, here's the next pivot point for you. Here's the next place of growth. Here's the next point of departure for you to move into this elevated station of awareness that you've been asking for. And you're not going to find that, sorry, you're not going to find that when everything's okay, hunky-dory, and everything's just going great, right? You're going to find those moments to pivot and move forward and adjust to life's duality and contrast in those moments where you are feeling like you're put to a place where you've got this flux that you can no longer deny. And, you know, I made a post yesterday about, you know, we do so much in our life to make sure that we can feel comfortable and we can feel safe and we can feel protected. And we create this kind of fortress of solitude around ourselves so much so that we can protect the things that made us feel unsafe in the first place, which is the most bizarre thing, really. Like, we're protecting our own thorn in our side, the thing that keeps like pushing in deeper. And every time that life knocks us around and it hits against this thorn in our side, whatever that is, the thing that we're trying to protect ourselves from, isn't it just that in those moments we realize that that's exactly where we get hit? That's exactly the point where life bumps up against us, is right in the thorn in our side, that thing we're trying to protect ourselves from. It's like, I use this analogy when I taught reemergence, which is largely what this is about. So if you want to go deeper into what this is about here, that's what reemergence is, and that's why I decided to offer it at a discount through tomorrow. But this thorn in the side, we try to, you know, build everything around it, this buffer zone, so it doesn't get hit, it doesn't get knocked. But just like when you cut your finger, you ever cut your finger and put a Band-Aid on it, and maybe it's kind of deep, and you're like, ow! And then you hit it like 20 times in that day, right? It just seems like because your mind and your energy is on it so much, it becomes this luminous point of attraction for everything to just kind of bump up or knock up against it. And you're like, fuck, why does this keep happening? The same shit happens when you're not willing to let go of the things that you keep holding on to, you keep squirreling away. Because you feel like if I squirrel it away and I pretend that these parts of me don't exist, then maybe I can hide it. Maybe no one else will see it. Maybe life won't hit me there again. But that's never the case, is it? And in fact, that's exactly where life hits you again. And it'll keep hitting you again, over and over and over again. And so we think we can play this duality game instead of dancing with it. We think we can play this duality game by saying, well, I'm just going to be love and light. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to walk around being in my peace. I'm going to create my little fortress of solitude so life's knocks can't get at me. And now I'm protected. Now I'm safe. Now I'm free. Except you're not at all. And everything that you're saying you want to evolve and ascend into, the very thing that is a catalyst for making that connection with being free, is letting go of your shit, letting go of this thorn in the side, letting go of your need to vigilantly protect yourself against life's knocks. And so you're going to be disturbed. You're going to be in a place of discomfort. And that's whether you choose healing and growth or whether you choose to hold on to the thorn in your side. You're going to be uncomfortable either way. I hate to break it to you. So why not choose growth? And in order to fully leap in and choose that growth, you're going to have to fucking pull up some deep reserves and get brave. And so that's why I love working with Sekhmet and Sekhem energy. And Sekhem energy it's a type of channeled energy, kind of like Reiki, but to me it's more powerful. Where Reiki feels like a soft kind of fleece blanket, Sekhem energy feels like maybe one of those old scratchy wool blankets that your grandma might have had in her cedar chest. And it'll keep you warm, but it will also, it's going to be scratchy. It's going to make you uncomfortable a little bit. It's going to, bring some things to the surface, and kind of, if you're uncomfortable with one thing, it kind of brings up all the uncomfortable stuff, right? I see someone wanting to join me on video. I'm not going to do that, but keep watching. There's more good stuff. So when we're working with Sekhmet and Sekhem energy, it's a kind of sacred symbology. It releases deeply held thought patterns. It releases deeply held programs where you keep believing you are this thing that you're not, which is unworthy, unlovable, and any other thing that is a diminishment or a discounting of your light and your inherent blueprint of abundance. That's okay. It's a tool for transformation. It accelerates personal development, and it activates what I love about this. And because Sekhmet is kind of the poster goddess for duality, because she is the patroness and the goddess of war, but she is also the goddess of regeneration and healing, and a powerful one in both rights. So she's kind of this embodiment of duality. 7 is her number, actually. The number 7 is attributed to the goddess Sekhmet. And for those of you who don't know Sekhmet, she is a lion-headed goddess. She is one of the most revered Egyptian deities in the early dynastic pantheon of gods. She is very much someone who allows you to speak your higher spiritual truth when you connect with her. She empowers the healer within you. Remember, nothing is outside of you. Nothing is outside of you. There is no experience that exists outside of you. Unless you're really good at having out-of-body experiences, which is still basically you having an experience of yourself, in the sense of higher spiritual truth, there is nothing that exists outside of you. And that's a deeper conversation, perhaps for one of my other courses. Sekhmet will help you find the courage to look at yourself honestly. And so why we connect with her today is because 777, the 77 portal, is a powerful connection with Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. And this Sirian star system has, it is a star system, it's not just a single star, but we can't see them with the naked eye. And there's one of the Sirius planets that were imploded billions of years ago. Some people say millions, it was billions of years ago. But that's a whole other story for another time too. You learn about that in Quantum Quintessence Society. This is what you need to know about this portal. We're working with Sekhmet because she's symbolic of the power 7, or the number 7. 7 and the power of 7 is symbolic of this divine relationship between human and soul, the great unification. And while we have, I call them triggers and glimmers, our triggers are what let us know that we're human. Right? We're human, we feel things, we're privy to the entire emotional spectrum of experience, and we're here to feel it all. We're not here to push away at or negate or deny any of it. And Sekhmet will be a powerful reminder of that for you here today. You're going to feel some things here, so strap in and get ready to feel the feels, okay? Hello everyone who's here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you found it. And also, that we have, triggers are what let us know that we're human, but the glimmers are when we're in those moments where we feel like, I get it. I get it. This beauty, this essence of something that I can't put my finger on, I can't articulate. I don't even know if I want to explain it, but I feel it. And it moves through me. I feel life and the light of existence moving through me. That's when you have those glimmers. That's when you have those moments where you sense the greatness and the truth, the higher spiritual truth of who you really are. You're going to feel that here too. And so I think that Sekhmet is a very powerful way to work with Sirian energy. Sirian energy is a very, very powerful part of the early dynastic traditions and veneration of deities in Egypt. A lot of the mystery schools and the teachings that have died off and have been bastardized, have been misused, abused, a lot of them, most of them, started through the Syrian lineage. Isis is a Syrian priestess. Sekhmet is a Syrian priestess. Hathor is also a Syrian priestess, but she's also a Hathorian priestess because there's a tie in between the Hathors, which are interdimensional beings who work with sound and light. And I work with them quite a bit because they help me work with the DNA and the time release grid. So I don't want to talk too much about this because I don't want it to be a discussion and a labored kind of list of definitions, and I don't want it to be too intellectual. I want it to be something you feel. I want it to be experiential. So I'm going to be working with several tuning forks here today. I don't know what's going to come through. Those of you who haven't worked with me before, I am a conscious channel. So I'll be speaking. It's going to be me speaking, but I just open myself up and I let whatever needs to come through. And so we are working with Sekhmet here today. And so I'm going to use my sonic slider tuning fork to ground us. You won't hear this one. This is tuned to 93.96 hertz, which is the 12th octave of the Schumann resonance, which is 7.83 hertz. And that is one of the most grounding frequencies because it connects our circadian rhythms in the brain. It connects our circuitry in the body with the hum, the rhythm, the electromagnetic energy of the earth. So we're going to go ahead and start here with grounding. So all you have to do, please do not be driving or doing anything physically taxing. If that's what you're doing, I seriously bag this and do it later. The replay will be on my channel. It will be on my YouTube channel. If you're on my e-list, you'll be sent the replay. But please do not be driving. So full disclaimer, you know, if you're here, that means you're willing to go on this journey with us. So take responsibility for your own healing, take responsibility for your own feelings. And if you want to stick around, please do. Ideally, you're seated, your feet are flat on the ground. We're just grounding here. We're just grounding your energy. So breathe. In your mind's eye, if you want to close your eyes and just imagine the infinity symbol and a kind of movement or flow of energy. Just a nice, even flow of that infinity symbol. It's like the figure 8 turned on its side. Just a flow of energy. You can imagine going through the flow of this symbol as you're on the in-breath and the out-breath. With each breath in and out, just becoming more centered, more relaxed, more present. Hi, Chelsea. Hello, and thank you to everyone who's here. And you won't hear this one, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it like a pulling down energy that starts in the chest. It starts deep in the chest. It actually starts up in the thymus and pulls down through the body. And you can even imagine just doing a quick body scan, starting with the top of the head. Just doing a quick energy scan, picking up anywhere you feel tightness, resistance. And just let that gently cascade down through the body, deep into the belly. We connect with Sekhmet deep, deep in the belly, in the sacral. The inner fire and the inner pilot light really starts in the sacral and it moves up into the solar plexus. And we're working with an energy it's extremely feminine, but it's an extremely powerful feminine energy. It actually is something that kind of overlaps with masculine energy in a way where it just kind of neutralizes in between masculine and feminine. So if you can imagine what that is, deepen into that. And deepen into this awareness and this ask, this intention. What am I pretending to not know about myself? What am I really afraid of? What is it that I really fear? For those of you who have tuned in late, go back and listen to the introduction and the description. I'm talking about that thorn in your side. If you finally pulled it out, what would happen? If you finally stopped building a life of protection around this thorn in your side, this pain, this fear, what would be available to you? And just create this kind of lightly held intention. Don't hold on to anything too strong here. Be very light and open in your energy. Let images, messages just kind of come and go throughout your field. Know that you're connecting with the emotional and the astral, the causal, the mental, the etheric bodies. And it's kind of a neutral place because we're in such like strong yin feminine that it's almost leaning towards the masculine, which kind of neutralizes it and brings the masculine and feminine energies right in the middle, right in this neutral place. But very powerful. What inspiration will you find here today? What if your true purpose is to correct the imbalances that you created for yourself? What if that's your purpose? To finally neutralize that and correct that. What if your true purpose is reverse engineering all the things that you put in place to protect yourself, working your way back to the truth and the core essence of you? What if that's your purpose? And what if all that can be known in how to do this is already within you? It's already all inside you. All you have to do is open up to it. And like removing that thorn in your side, it's like unplugging something so that energy can flow through. Anywhere we try to plug up or protect or create a boundary, create a dam, we are damming energy. We are holding it up, hoarding it, disabusing it of its ability to flow, and the whole existence that we're here to experience is one that is based in flow. And flow is not about just having everything move perfectly and seamlessly all the time. That is not flow. Flow is the ability to hold the light and the dark, knowing that they both have a place, knowing that you are both light and dark, and those aspects of you both have a powerful place. And they are part of the duality of you because they help you to move into new phases of growth. They are catalysts. That's an interesting question, Christine. But let me ask you something. If we're here for contrast and we're here for growth, do we really truly grow if we're around people all the time who think exactly the same way and feel exactly the same way as we do? Is that growth? It's nice. It's safe. We feel protected that way. We get to stay in our own opinions. We get to cling to our own beliefs. We get to not feel the contrast of change. So you tell me. That's a good question for your own journaling. That's not for me to answer for you. And let your energy go with this frequency. This is the frequency of 144 hertz. Just be playful here. Let your energy go back. Like it's going back to a place where your soul was initiated into ancient mysteries. A place of great learning, a gathering place of priestesses and priests, scholars, magicians. The magical arts truly came out of the dynastic traditions in Egypt and the mystery schools. What we know about magic today, what we know about Isis, one of her incarnations is the magician. This magic, this alchemy, it's all within us. It's in our DNA. So let yourself kind of drift back there. You can close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, just imagine what it would feel like to drift back to a time where there were great inventions, where there were great luminaries and visionaries, keepers of knowledge, lineages and traditions that were like secrets in the wide open back then. Where being connected with the gods was an everyday, not just a ritual, not something like you went to church on Sunday, but it was an everyday connection. And you were just open to the flow of their wisdom. Imagine that openness now. And open yourself up to this immense kind of fiery lioness energy that is Sekhmet, this primordial goddess. She is a solar goddess. And bring that energy into the body. Bring that energy into, first, the oral cavity, the mouth. Imagine opening your mouth and just taking this energy in and then taking it down into the throat. Your throat might feel a little fiery and scratchy at first. Let this ignite more of your higher spiritual truth, so that when you speak it, you speak your truth, and you do so unflinchingly. You do so in a way that you don't fear repercussion, that you don't hide yourself. You're connecting with a goddess who is dual in nature, kind of like Athena, who is worshipped by the Greeks as the goddess of war and wisdom. Sekhmet is the goddess of war, but also regeneration and healing. She's symbolic of the great mother energy, the fierce destroyer energy, almost like Kali in a sense as well. Creation and destruction. And we have all of this within us. Creation and destruction is built into us because the God template is what we are made from. It is what forms us. It is what is informing us at all times. So if you have the ability for creation and destruction, what would be the best uses of that power in your own life right now when you reflect back on, what am I pretending to not know? Maybe it's because you feel that you don't have the ability to alchemize it. Instead of destroying it, what if you took the energy potential of it and turned it into something else? That is what the great alchemy is. The alchemy and the magic of transmuting one substance into another. The energy doesn't change, but the form does. Think of something you would like to alchemize in your life right now. Anything that has darkness in it has the ability to transform into light. It is the most powerful aspect of alchemy, to take the most leaden substance and turn it into something light and ethereal. I want you to think of emotional themes, old belief systems that have the same exact ability. What might that be for you right now in your life? Don't think about it too long. Don't ruminate on it. Give it no more than 30 seconds of thought. What is that thing that comes up right now? The most prevalent, up front, in your face, in your being that you're aware of, that this has the ability to turn from something very, very hard and rigid into something soft, into something light. Just imagine it. Use your own imagination and the movement of your will to imagine something that feels hard, has rough edges, is leaden, and turning it into something that feels soft and light and easy. And that in terms of how it benefits you, has much more beneficial and positive outcomes in your life than in its current leaden or deadened or dormant state of being hard. And simply ask Sekhmet to help you transform this. Ask that there is a level of information available to you in the highest and best way for you to receive it. We all receive information differently, right? Some of us are more clairvoyant, some of us are more clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient. And I am going to burp a lot as I bring this through. I'm sorry. And if you need water, this is fiery energy, so you may feel hot. You may feel like your throat gets scratchy. So drink water, and if you have water with you, it's also getting a charging and blessing with these energies. So let's start by moving this alchemizing energy, shifting it into a higher gear, and going with a higher frequency. Be willing to see how this level of resistance, something that feels leaden in your energy, and start to move through a conduit of change, a portal of change. And that's certainly what this 777 portal is. And don't try too hard to force this. Again, keep your energy light and open. Be gentle and soft with this energy. Believe me, Sekhmet will be fiery and powerful enough. You don't need to you don't need to be in that level. You can simply be in an energy of accepting it and kind of riding it. And be soft and gentle with yourself. Be accepting, be forgiving of yourself. If themes are coming up where you're like, I've held on to this forever, what is my problem? Don't do any of that. You don't need to do that. Be soft with yourself. Be gentle. Be loving. In the face of all this fire, in the face of all of this light, in the recognition of your own inner solar light, be soft. Be soft. Be accepting. And you can be accepting and acknowledge yourself in a higher light by simply knowing that you're here to make change happen, to create a shift, to connect with a part of you that maybe felt dormant, that maybe you felt like you were disconnected from. Maybe it was a part of you that you deliberately and intentionally pushed away at because you felt this part of self was lesser than. Be soft. Call this part of you back home. Call it back into the light. Allow it to be purified in this solar light that you feel in the center of your body, in your torso, in your solar plexus. This is your own inner sun, which has its own alchemizing properties because fire is purifying, isn't it? So call this part of self back to you. Maybe it's a part of self that you can't forgive. Maybe it's a part of self that you can't forget, part of you that was traumatized, a part of you that feels that I can't go back to this way of being. You don't have to, but you can call this being that is existing beyond the light of your love, beyond the light of your attention, beyond the light of your acknowledgement. Call it back home into your light, back into your love. So this part of you can be alchemized. It can move into a higher station of awareness, but only if you call it home with love. That's the only way transformation truly takes place. Transformation will never take place from a place of fear. Transformation will never take place from a place of thinking that you are lesser than, that there's a part of you that's unworthy. How could that ever be true if you are forged in light, if you are light, if you are God inherent? And feel the complexity here of feeling entirely human here with your emotions. Let it flow. Whatever needs to come up and be purged, that's part of the alchemizing process. If you need to cry, you want to scream, you want to yell, ah! that the sound that comes from your own body is a catalyst for alchemy. Use it. Feel it. Sekhmet is here to help you feel the things maybe you felt like you couldn't feel. You were afraid to feel. How can you ever be afraid to feel your own emotions? That doesn't make any sense. Stop responding to life from a fear of expression. And start responding to life feeling that I'm here to express it all. I'm here to feel it all. This is the duality experience my soul signed up for, to feel the contrast. So that knowing in these moments of contrast, this is exactly the jet propulsion point for me to move forward into a next higher stage of growth. That's what it is. The next higher stage of growth doesn't come from me staying in dormant energies where I stay in my comfort zone. Nothing happens there. We need the cracks. We need to break open. That's the only way the light comes in. Let the light come in. Be willing to crack yourself wide open. Expose it all. All the bugs and the stuff that are under the rocks and in the soil, all the worms, let it all come out. Let it all be seen. All those things fulfill a purpose too. And Sekhmet is going to show you the side of life that we don't want to look at. She's going to show you the parts of life that are honest, upfront, and in your face and undeniable. She is that goddess. If you're here, your soul was like, yes, let's do this today. So just, again, be open, be soft. Let yourself crack open, break open here. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Just let go. It's okay. You're safe to see what you wouldn't allow yourself to see before. You're safe to review where you've been. You don't have to relive anything, but you can review. This is what you do when you go into the God self, the God's eye view, the witness energy. Let yourself go into that part, which is your soul's perspective, looking at all the moving parts of your life. So that way you see beyond the ego filters, you see beyond the pain, you get back behind the fear. And you look out from eyes that only see you in light, that only see you as an emanation of love and the pure consciousness of Source itself. Understand that the nature of duality, even though we might push away at things here, it all comes from the same source. And we can have no sense of unification unless we first have a sense of duality. For how do you know of anything that can be unified if we don't know first and fully duality? Let it be. Let it exist. Let it happen. Know that the things that are coming up that are in stark contrast to how you would like life to be, those are the exact catalysts that get you to where life can be as you imagine it, as you dream it. And this idea of getting from here to there is growth. And growth doesn't happen without embracing duality, without embracing contrast, without embracing friction. And what causes fire? Friction, right? Something being set alight within you. This is a powerful moment of feeling your all-encompassing power. It's all within you. It's all here. It's all now. You're not sourcing anything outside of yourself. It's all within you. This kind of unconditional love is fierce. Sometimes unconditional love is savage because it is so raw, it's so wide open. There's nothing closed off about it at all. And that's the energy that Sekhmet has to offer when we channel her. So let it flow. And again, be soft with yourself as you accept it. It will take the healing that is happening for you right now, right here in real time, it will take it so much deeper. It'll go to all parts and pieces of you, all the nooks and crannies that maybe you couldn't get to before because that thorn in the side that was plugging you up, it's now releasing a little bit, isn't it? It's now starting to loosen up, allowing energy to flow around it again. Where the energy around it, where we hold on to our pain and we protect ourselves from the thing we want to build a life around the pain. And when we do that, we close off the flow of energy around that point where the pain, the trauma first came in. And that's what allows that pain to stay as fresh as the day it happened. Because no energy is flowing around it, causing any contrast, causing any movement, causing any friction. Let the friction come and be soft with yourself. You can handle it. You are in your power. Feel yourself in a physical body while being held in a bigger spiritual, etheric, causal body, auric body, all at the same time. It all exists all at the same time. You are this living light energy. You are this power. Riding out this wave as a human. What is really powerful about allowing the Sekhem flow, and there are no symbols here, so you see I'm not drawing any symbols with Sekhem energy. There are no symbols. It's just flowing. I'm just allowing it to come through the sounds, through my intention, through the channeling that I'm doing. I'm allowing it to come through the sound frequencies, and so you'll find that this energy, it can work in half the time. It's very powerful, and it lasts much longer. You'll notice that after this healing, the energy will resonate for much, much longer. You'll feel this throughout this day, throughout this weekend, maybe even throughout this next week. And so we're going to bring up the harmonic a little bit higher because I'm feeling the energy moving, I'm feeling releasing. We're going to create a deeper communication between the soul and the human. Feel the magnitude of your power when you decide to let something go. Sekhmet powerfully reminds me often that the greatest power I hold, you hold, we all hold as humans, is our ability to let something go, not to hold on to it. That is disempowerment. The ability to let something go finally and completely and say, whatever energetic potential this held, I alchemize it. I am alchemizing it into something higher and better and more beneficial with positive outcomes that will pay out in dividends for me over time. That is your power. The power of letting go is the most powerful gift that you have. Yes. So where will you own that power in yourself right now? Just let it go. What is the use of holding on to it? If it's something you can't forgive about yourself, let it go. If it's a grudge that you're holding with someone, let it go. If it's a belief that you have that you've constantly been questioning, but I learned this, I knew it, I was brought up with this, but all these things are butting up against it, let it go. There is no one holding the puppet strings of your life. There is no outside force holding you down, keeping you down. There is no God in the sky throwing down edicts from a throne. Thou shalt have this, but thou shalt not have that. None of that exists. All the power you hold for true change lies in letting something go, because in the letting go, this is why it is so powerful. In the letting go, we create the capacity to receive more of who we are. We create the capacity to hold the resonance of who we are and how we exist in higher spiritual truth. You cannot have this unless you let go of a lesser resonance, a lower vibration, a lesser frequency. Does this make sense? The word Sekhem means power. It means power. What does that mean for you? What does power mean for you? As you ground this idea of your own power into your body, where do you feel that power needs to be most embodied? Where do you feel power needs to take up more residence in your body? Remember, we feel feelings, not in the mind, they're in the body. We hold emotional themes, we hold trauma in the body. So where we feel most disempowered, I want you to go to that part of the body now. Find it. You won't have to look too hard. You won't have to feel around for too long. It'll show up and say, "Hi, it's me, I'm here." Send this power there. Send this transmission of living light energy there. Allow the power of your own inner sun to light up, and imagine like a flame that flickers from a raging bonfire or campfire, just as a flame gets thrown off from the bonfire. Imagine that going to the part of the body, that part of your being that needs that little flicker of flame to bring up the incendiary energy of your own power. Where is that in the body? Go there. Take it there. You are your own healer. There is no one who does healing for you. There are facilitators, just as I am facilitating this healing, but you are your own healer. You do your own healing. I don't do your healing for you. With this energy, you are empowering the healer within. This fire from the belly will allow you to speak and resonate with your higher spiritual truth. And just as we experience this duality, the embodiment of duality that Sekhmet represents and symbolizes to us, I want you to know that you can have a fiery sense of truth and a disposition that is almost fierce in the love that you feel for yourself, the love you feel for this world, the love that you feel for humanity, hopefully, and be soft at the same time. Know that you can be healing and also completely in your power at the same time. Those things can exist simultaneously. The thing we have the hardest time with accepting is that things can exist simultaneously. We can accept one without ignoring the other. You can be healing and in a process of completely coming apart while feeling happy and full at the same time. You can feel the entirety of your human experience, being connected to the emotional spectrum of experience of all the light, all the dark, and everything in between in terms of the emotional spectrum, and still feel full and whole and loved and seen and witnessed and held and supported and nourished all at the same time. You can have it all at the same time. Where did we ever get the idea that we can't? Whoever told us that? Probably some indoctrination somewhere, whether religious, political, or otherwise. Societal. you can feel the synergistic effect of your entire life happening. Accept it all and ignore none of it. Negate none of it. You don't need to deny or push away at any of it. That's true power. To know that you have the ability to hold that all, and you do. I want you to feel that now. Feel the essence of that. Of having it all at the same time. Being it all at the same time. And so what kind of progression would this look like for you? If that were so. If you could be it all, feel it all at the same time, what would that look like in your life? How would that present? Let your imagination run wild with that. Just be open to what comes in. Remember, be soft. Don't try to force anything here. You're working with a very, very powerful force of nature when you work with Sekhmet, so you don't need to add more force to that. Simply be soft and accept and allow. Open up. Open your heart. And I'm going to do a final strike of the tuning fork here, and as we do, I want you to again do a kind of gentle scan and bring the energy down from the top of the head down through the entire body, remembering front, back, sides of the body. Bring this energy all the way down and just breathe. Center into this new energy, this new power. Really feel it. Embrace it. Embrace your power. Embrace your energy. And keep bringing this down, all the way down now, into the soles of the feet. Down into the Earth Star Chakra. Down through all the layers of the earth, down through dirt and rock and crystal. Deep down into the iron crystalline core of the earth. And you can end by saying, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. And just take a minute just to breathe and center. Bring yourself fully back into your physical being. And let me know how you feel. You're definitely going to want to drink a bunch of water after this. And if you had water with you this whole time, wonderful, because you had a charging and a blessing on your water. You'll notice that your water will taste different, more alkaline. A little soft. Getting some sparkly emojis. So if you want to take this wisdom further, I've decided to bring back the Reemergence program with a special offer of $50 off. This was an incredible 4-day multi-dimensional transformation and advanced spiritual teaching. It's like a B12 shot in 4 days of advanced spiritual wisdom and teaching about how to really dance with duality, not just in a conceptual way, but in a grounded, tangible, hands-on, real-world way, which is how I like to teach and share. It was an incredibly powerful 4 days. So if you want to grab that, that offer, that flash offer is good until 7 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So 4 p.m. Eastern. Did I get that right? I don't know, I'm a little loopy right now. The knowing of letting go of my creative blocks allowed me to see in my mind images to place on the canvas. I love that. Yes. Sekhmet can be quite the artistic muse if you allow her energy to simply flow through you. She's a very, very powerful goddess. If you want to work with her energies more, obviously you can Google her. I like working with carnelian or red garnet as crystals, and put them in the palm of my left hand, or whatever your receiving hand is, and just call on her and ask her to infuse her energy into those crystals. And so I have my, where is it? There she is. My beautiful red garnet. And garnet is also my birthstone because I'm a January baby. So I've always loved red garnet. And this is a tumbled red garnet, and it's heavy, it's potent. And so when I hold it, I always think of Sekhmet energy. It's little, but it's potent. Also, if you want to work with her, I found a really, really great YouTube video and channel transmission with Steve Noble, or Nobel, I don't know how he says his last name, on YouTube. And I think I'll post that. It's a Sekhmet transmission. It's very powerful. If you guys would like me to, I'll post that in the comments here so that you can check that out. If you want to work with Sekhmet even more over the weekend, I highly recommend it. If you're feeling that like this is juicy, like this started something in me, I want to keep it going, that would be a great transmission to listen to. You can also listen to this again if you like. But I do recommend, especially after sound healing frequencies and working with Sekhmet, her energy builds out over time. And it can get more complex. So give it time to integrate in your field. Give yourself time to process this energy. If you want to listen to this again, I would give it a good 24 hours to let the energies integrate, let them process, let the energy flow. And remember, be soft. Be soft with your energy. I know that our go-to is to be hard on ourselves, right? We're not doing enough. We're not productive enough. All that other shit that's programmed into us since the time we're tiny humans. Being soft is the ability to just kind of notice these things as they come in. Don't try to push away at them, but just notice them and say, oh, okay, but I don't have to pay attention to that. You can just let it come in and come out. That's what I mean with being soft and letting things go. The more, anybody who's tried to meditate and shut down the brain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you try to push the thoughts out of your mind, it never works. And they just come in more fierce and furious. So the same works with, you know, our emotions, the feelings that come up. Hold them for a second, feel them, allow them to present, allow yourself to interface with them, be with them, and then let them go. This is the greatest power. We're just starting to realize this. I'm just starting to realize this. The greatest power you have is the ability to let go. Because then and only then the light can come in. Then and only then the full knowledge of who you exist as a true spiritual being of living light. Only then can that resonance fully be acknowledged and appreciated and held within you. So I hope that this continues to manifest itself in your field in the highest and best ways possible. Many blessings to you, and thank you, all of you who were here live. Thank you, watching the replay. Thank you. Many blessings to you. Mwah. Bye-bye.